Hey, what's up you guys? Installing a base plate on your Fiat 500 will allow you to tow your vehicle behind an RV for your next trip. Now this can be a difficult install. It may take you several hours to complete, but we're going to guide you through it. Let's go ahead and break it down. You'll need the tools seen here to complete this installation. Our base plate is going to be installed behind our front bumper fascia, so we're going to need to remove this to start. So we went ahead and opened up our hood to remove these 4 screws using a T30 torque screw bit. Now in the wheel well, we're going to remove 3 screws using a Phillips bit or Phillips screwdriver. And then we'll repeat on the driver's side. Now on the bottom of our bumper fascia, right on the end, right by the wheel well, we have 1 screw that we're going to remove using a Phillips bit or Phillips screwdriver. And then we'll repeat that on the driver's side. Now in the middle of our front bumper fascia, there's 3 screws that we'll be removing using a T30 torque screw bit. Now that we have those 3 screws out on our wheel well, we're going to pull back on that liner on the inside. It's going to expose a gray screw right up here on the top. We're going to remove that using a T30 torque screw bit. So it's kind of hard to see, but it's right here at the end of our front bumper fascia. And then we'll repeat that on the driver's side. Now with all of our screws out, we're ready to remove our bumper fascia. We're going to start on the top right here on the passenger side. We're just going to pull lightly on the corner. Now if one of your tabs gets stuck on your fascia, like ours is next to our headlight, we'll take a trim panel removal tool and we're just going to push down on the tab inside, and that will allow us to release it. Now we're going to pull out on our front passenger side fascia, and we're going to remove these 2 wiring harnesses. To remove this marker taillight harness, we're going to push on the tab at the bottom and just pull back. To remove our headlight harness, we're going to push on the tab right here on the side and pull it out. And we'll repeat on the driver's side. With our harnesses and tabs disconnected, we're going to go to the center of our front bumper fascia, and we're just going to remove it. And we're going to set it aside. Next, we're going to remove our air deflector. It's held in by 2 screws on the driver's side, and there's 1 screw on the passenger side. And we'll be using an 8mm socket to remove those. Next, we're going to remove both of our bumper horn brackets. They're held in by 4 bolts, 2 on top, 2 on bottom, and we're going to remove them using a 14mm socket. And then we're just going to pull back on our bracket and we're going to set that aside. And then we'll repeat on the passenger side. Now we're ready to bring our base plate into place. It's going to attach on our 4 holes where each of our brackets were attached. And we're going to use our existing factory bolts. We're just going to line it up and we're going to put 1 bolt on each side to hold it into place. Now we're going to put all of our remaining bolts in on both sides. And repeat on the passenger side. We're now going to torque all of our bolts to our manufacturer's specification, and we'll be using a 14mm socket. Now on the side of our base plate, we're going to drill out 2 holes to bring in some additional hardware. Now we're going to use a 3/8 drill bit to drill that out. And we're just going to make sure our hardware fits, and then we'll drill our second hole. And we'll repeat on the passenger side. Now for our drilled holes, we're going to put a bolt and lock washer in there, and on the other side we're going to take a flange nut with a wire welded onto it, And we're just gonna line it up, and we're gonna bring it behind our bracket right here. And we're gonna line it up with our hole. Then we're gonna take our bolt and we're gonna bring it through. And while holding the flange nut in place, we'll take our bolt and screw it in. And then we'll repeat on our top hole. Now with our side bolts in place, we're gonna torque them to the manufacturer's specification. And we'll be using a 14mm socket. And we'll repeat on the passenger side. Now we're gonna trim up these wires using some shears or some wire cutters. We're just gonna go as high as we can. Now we'll take the rest of our wires and we're just gonna push it down behind the rest of our bracket. And we'll repeat on the passenger side. Now we're going to install our permanent safety cable for our base plate. Now our instructions recommend that we go around the side of the frame right here. So we're gonna take our cable and we're gonna loop one side around the back until it drops down here. And our other one we're gonna drop right behind our base plate. Now we have our convenience link here on our base plate where we'll take our provided quick link and we'll put it around the convenience link. Then we'll take our 2 loops on our safety cable and we'll put it into the quick link. And we'll repeat on the driver's side. And now that those are in, we're gonna go ahead and tighten it up. Now to get it tightened all the way, we're just gonna take an adjustable wrench and get it till it's nice and secure. Now we're gonna take our front fascia and we're gonna line it up as best as we can. Now we're gonna mark on our fascia where our base plate interferes so we can trim this out. Now that we have marked down where our tabs were interfering with our fascia, we're gonna go ahead and trim it up. All right, now we're gonna take our front fascia and we're gonna reattach it and make sure that our tabs line up. And they do. So now we can go ahead and mark our other holes right here on the front and down here on the bottom where our carabiners are. So we went ahead and marked out the rest of our front fascia to allow the rest of our base plate to come through. Next, we're going to trim the bottom of our fascia. We've already marked it off, and we'll be using an air saw to cut that out. And then we'll repeat on the passenger side. Now that we have everything trimmed and in place, we're ready to reinstall our front fascia. All right, that wraps up our install. Thank you for watching our video. If you have any questions about this product, or if you'd like to schedule an installation with the U-Haul Hitch Professional, you can visit your closest U-Haul Hitch Center, or you can visit us online at uhaulhitches.com. Thank you.